Hello everyone, this is Eric with CrewReady. Today we're going to be looking at how to receive inventory into the CrewReady flow um, so that the auto ordering system and the tracking of items both correctly function. First of all, this is going to be looking at how to receive inventory both with a barcode scanner and manually if you don't have a scanner set up. If you don't know how to set up a barcode scanner to work with CrewReady, take a look at our admin video for setting up a barcode scanner. First, we're going to be looking at the receiving flow for receiving an order that exists within CrewReady on this orders page under inventory orders. And then we'll also be looking at modifying directly the inventory quantities for manually adjusting if you receive inventory that was unexpected. Here on the orders page, the first step is finding the order you want to receive. So I have an order here, which I received some atropine, 4 milligrams, and 0.4 milligrams and 0.6 milligrams. However, I was shorted on the Tylenol. It wasn't at the pharmacy or what have you, so I did not receive any Tylenol. So we're going to look at how to receive this order, including the fact that no Tylenol was present. To receive an order, either with the barcode or automatically, you can simply hit receive. Once you do, it will give you a quick summary of the order, what was ordered, its category, and how much was expected. You hit start receiving to enter the actual receiving screen. Here in the receive step is where every item will receive a little box, or a big box rather, for every item that was in the order. And each of these boxes functions the same way. We're going to start with our 0.4 milligrams. And here I'm going to give the example of using a barcode scanner. So here, if I take my barcode scanner and I scan the barcode on the box, then you'll see here that it will mark this item as scanned. So I can easily see that this is based off what I scanned into inventory. And you'll see that because I scanned the box, it put 10 in here because there's 10 in a box. This is important to understand that barcodes, when created inside of CrewReady, will either be for an item or an each barcode for each individual item, and those will be things like any barcodes printed on vials or a barcode on a box of gloves and so on. Or there's a case barcode, which will be a barcode that's printed on the outside box of some atropine, like what I scanned in this case. Case barcodes will scan in an amount for whatever you have entered in your settings for that item as the case. So atropine, in the settings, I say that there's 10 atropine in a box or a case of atropine, and then when I scan the outside barcode on that box, it will enter 10 in. To understand how to set up settings for items, look at the admin items video. If my barcode has an expiry date encoded in it, it will fill in the expiry date automatically. If it does not, such as the case with this atropine, then I need to enter in the barcode, or the expiry date rather, myself. So I will enter in the expiry date for my atropine. If you scan a barcode multiple times, it will scan multiple in just like that, as you can see there. And it is capable of scanning multiple expiry dates. If you need to manually enter items in, we will see how you can do that in the atropine 0.6 milligrams here in a second. Really quickly though, I will explain that you can hit this remove button to remove that entire expiry date row from the total number. Finally, depending on your environment settings, which you can look at under the admin advanced section, you can set up metadata in an order that can be set here. So in this case, for the example, I have unit price. So I don't know, I'll make up a number, $25. And then that will be saved with the order. Next here, we're gonna look at our atropine 0.6 milligrams. This one, let's just say the barcode's damaged for whatever reason, so I can't scan it. I have to enter this in manually. It's very simple. You just change the 0 to whatever amount you have. Let's say for some reason there's only 8 in this box. And we'll just put the expiry date down as the same expiry date for this attribute. And now you can see, for one thing, there's a little warning there to let you know that you've been shorted on your attribute, which is useful to see. And then there's also, let's say that we weren't actually given 8, we were given 10, but 2 of them are a different expiry date. So we hit the plus row button, which gives us another row where we can enter in a separate expiry date. Let's say end of this month. And then here we can enter in our unit price again. Then we get down here to our Tylenol. We were shorted on Tylenol, we got 0, which means we leave this as 0. Now, if we're happy with that, we hit the review button, and this will show us what all we're marking as received. And it will let us know if there's any warnings on these items. There's 3 types of warnings when receiving. If you were shorted on the item, if you're over on the item, you got too much, or if there's no expiry date on that item. Now, some items won't have expiry dates on them. It's simply there just so you double check that you didn't accidentally skip that expiry date, as well as any metadata, extra details that you entered in, and all the other information you entered in. You're happy with everything, then you just hit add to inventory. It will take a moment to save, and then once you've done that, your order will be marked as received or partially received if there's still some unreceived items. And then the actual inventory in the inventory page has also been updated to include those new items. Now, one thing to note is if you're confident that this Tylenol is not coming, it's not like coming as a separate package or whatever, then you can immediately hit the 0 order button. And you can see the orders video for a more in-depth understanding of orders and managing their functions. But basically, this tells CrewReady that the rest of the order is not coming, and it should regenerate that in the next medication order or whatever categories you have set up for auto ordering. So we'll just hit that here in this example to let it know that that Tylenol is never coming. Now, finally, we'll look at how, if there's no order created, how you can edit the values in the items page to reflect an order you received. So let's say we completely ran out of gloves because there was a short at stores. So we ran down to the drugstore, whatever, and picked up a box of medium gloves because we completely ran out. So we don't have an order generated for those medium gloves. We just have to enter them in directly. So to do that, we can just search to find our medium gloves. So here we can see, oh yeah, we got 0 medium gloves. So in order to add these medium gloves to our stock, we can add an expiry row, and just it needs a second to load the row in there. And now that we've added this expiry row, we can edit the actual value in there to reflect what's now in the inventory. So we add 1 medium glove. And then if it's something with an expiry date, which technically gloves do have an expiry date, you can put it in here. If you don't want to track the expiry date, you can obviously leave it blank. Additionally, if there's multiple different expiry dates, you can add as many expiry rows as your company's settings allow. The default is 10. Again, you can look at the admin settings video if you would like to get a deeper dive into settings. That's how you either input inventory using the barcode scanner in the receive inventory view, or through directly editing the values in the inventory cards. If you have an order generated under the orders page, it is always recommended to receive through the receive process that it is designed for, because otherwise it could impact future auto orders because CrewReady doesn't know that you received that order. If you have any further questions or concerns, as always, you can contact support at crewready.ca, and have a great day.